ASU, Lehman College, Notre Dame, and Purdue. Today is Tuesday, April the 28th, and we're about to kick off another great day of science. For your Do Now, we're answering the questions: what are animals made of? What do they need to grow? Think about what you learned from Matter Makes It All Up. You may pause the video and begin. Today we'll use a digital simulation to continue exploring matter in ecosystems. Before we get started, let's look at a few features on the sim.
Let's review how we can use the sim to observe matter moving through an ecosystem. These matter cubes represent the matter that makes up each organism. Let's slow down this activity by selecting 0.5 times. This means it will run at half speed. You can use this button to pause the sim. Then, press play to make matter move through the ecosystem once again.
We know where animals get the food molecules they need for growth from the body molecules of plants and animals they eat. One key thing to think about is, what do animals do with the molecules that they get from their food? So let's take a look at this simulation. So once you pull up the simulation, it will look like this. This represents an ecosystem. So you have plants and you have animals and of course the sun. This entire simulation represents what happens in different food chains, okay? Remember, when we're talking about how energy is being passed from plant to animal, and we want to look at how the energy is passed in one direction, that is a food chain. But when we have multiple food chains together in one space, then that is a food web. So if we're looking at this simulation, we're actually looking at a food web because energy is being passed in more than one direction. So just like the video was saying, what we're going to do in this simulation is just look at how energy is being passed. You don't have to do anything other than speed up or slow down the way that energy is being passed. So the way that you would do that is go to this button here, and you get to decide how fast the energy is going to move through the system. And let's say we want to do it at 1, then you're just going to press the play button, and then you'll see how energy is being passed. So notice the sun is providing something that is allowing us to get energy into the plant. Let's see what happens with this energy from the plant. All right, so we see that in the food chain, the energy from the plant is being passed to the rabbit, okay? And from there, we already know that the energy that's in the rabbit is going to be passed somewhere else in the ecosystem. So the cool thing about this simulation is you have the ability to say what is going to be in the ecosystem. So let's say we don't want the rabbit to be there. We just click on it and then we would click no. Okay. What I would suggest is that you keep all of the animals in the simulation just to make sure that you're able to get the bigger picture. And that's how we're going to answer our questions in the rest of our packet. So let's take a look at those questions. So the next page should read how animals use food matter. We're answering the next two questions. How can you tell if an animal is growing based off of what we've seen in the simulation? And then what happens to the food matter after an animal eats it? We actually might even know this question just by observing the little bit that we did when I did the simulation with you just now. So the next part is your exit ticket. For the exit ticket, I want you to write down your reflection of the simulation by filling in the blanks to the following questions. While using the simulation, I learned that. Tell me one of the most interesting things that you learned by using this simulation. Your response could complete the sentence, or if you want to use multiple sentences, that's fine as well. Then the next question reads, during the simulation, I discovered, and next, after completing the simulation, I think, so what conclusions are you drawing by using the simulation? What things can you infer based off of what you saw in the simulation? This completes our lesson today in science. Thank you so much for another great day. I hope everyone has a positive and productive day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.